Yeah, yo, sometimes you gotta go to war for what you believe in. Sometimes you gotta go to war for what it is that you want, what you see that's right. I'm about to go to war, but lyrically. War cry, baby. Yeah. Hey yo, war cries echoes in the background. That's the sound of soldiers getting ripped up and tore down. Lyrically dismantle metaphors and manhandle. Marauder with me.
Welcome to another episode of Impose My Will podcast. I am your host, Ramone. With me, my other host, Joe. Joe, how you doing today, bro?
Man, we doing good, bro. Doing good this morning.
That's true. Beautiful, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, everybody. So, today's episode is going to be recorded, edited, and put out today, specifically for the big fight tonight, man. Benavidez versus David Morrell.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Very interested in how that's going to go down. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down for sure. Real quick, I just wanted to go over some of the card. If people don't know, which they should know, the actual card, it's a dope card in general. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so this entire card is worthy to be watched. Outside of the main event with Benavides Morrell, we got Brandon Figueroa versus Stephen Fulton. As everybody know, this is a rematch. It's kind of a controversial thing. The last fight, Fulton is saying that he's going to make it decisive. Brandon Figueroa is saying that he's not going to leave it to the judges. So it's going to be a banger. You know what I mean? This one is going to be. I think it's going to live up to the co-main event status. Hell, it could even be fight of the night. We'll see.
Right.
After that, we got Pitbull Isaac Cruz versus Angel Fierro. Again, another great fight. Pitbull, even though he came up short on his last fight, he's always entertaining, man. He's always, pushing forward, bringing the action to you. And a lot of people, they won't stand there and bang with him, even though they say they're gonna do it. They end up not doing it.
They call him Pitbull for a reason, bro. That dude got
right.
a dog in him.
got that dog in him. So,
right.
Dope fight, man. We also got Jesus Ramos versus Jason Rosario. Again, another good fight. Jason Rosario, he gets a lot of flack, in my opinion. I've even heard people call him, a journeyman. He's had a lot of big fights, but he's come up short in most of them. But he's always game. He's always in the fight, always ready to fight anybody. So I think with that mentality, we're gonna get a dope fight, man. I know some more, especially some stuff added. Joe, why don't you go ahead and let us know?
Yeah, for the prelims, we had Mirko Culo. Sorry if I'm messing up the last name, against Christian Olivo. That should be a good one. I think one of these fighters, actually, no, not them, but we got a couple fighters on the prelims is making their pro debut. We also have Angel Ruiz and Yaneli Hernandez, which is a middleweight bout. I've seen Angel Ruiz fight. Very talented. These fighters pretty much is all going to be coming in here banging out, man. Yeah, I mean, these prelim fighters, they are trying to get to that main card.
For sure.
One of the fighters that was also added to this fight card recently was Camaro Moten and Frank Zaldivar. Now, if anybody knows, Camaro Moten is one of Mayweather's proteges, and the boy got talent. Most of his fights, I haven't seen a fight of his go over 5 rounds yet. And his last bout, which was supposed to take place in Philly, he was overweight. Which from what he was saying, that he didn't think the fight was supposed to go on, so he wasn't prepared. But he is prepared for this fight tonight. So everybody, you get a chance, get to the on YouTube to watch the prelims. These are going to be the non-televised prelims, so you definitely go to YouTube to catch that. He should be the last fight there before we go to the main card, which would be on should be Amazon Prime pay-per-view, right?
Right.
Yes, for PVC. Yep.
me see. Yep, Amazon Prime pay-per-view. Absolutely.
So yeah, y'all tune in.
Yeah, tune in. Oh, entire card is fire. Undercard is even fire, man. So check it. Undercard, the quote unquote non-televised fights, play on YouTube. They go live on YouTube, so you can catch Krumel, you can catch Angel, you can catch all those guys on there. Definitely tune into YouTube, PBC's Premier Boxing Champions YouTube
And
page,
it's
and you'll be
six
able to catch.
non-televised prelim fights, which should be on the YouTube. So you got a lot.
Yeah. Main card starts at 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into it, man. It's a lot to say about this fight. This is a fight that fight fans have been. I would say fight fans have been. They want the fight, right? Both
Mm-hmm.
of these guys have been chasing Canelo, and it hasn't come to fruition for either one of them. And they've been kind of calling each other out. There's been I think a few times this fight was supposed to happen. For whatever reason, negotiations broke down a couple of times, but here we are. They both are making it happen. They're both in their primes. I'm so happy that this is happening before they're in their 30s. So we're going to get the best of both of them.
Oh
So
yeah.
you want me to set it off?
Yeah, go ahead, kick it off, man.
All right, cool. So there's a lot of variables, but there's also a lot of similarities. Height, they're only an inch apart. Size, they're pretty much close to the same size. They came in at the same exact weight.
Same weight. Mm-hmm.
Morrell has he has the longer reach. He has a longer reach than Benavidez, which is interesting because normally it's Benavidez who has the longer reach over the majority of his opponents. But let's break it down a little bit. I want to kind of go back, see how things kind of line up. A lot of the controversy, if any, is based on Morrell not having the pro experience that Benavidez has. Benavidez has been in there with big names. He's been in there with Caleb Plant. He's been there with Darrell. He's been in there, with a bunch of guys, champions, and beat them all. Has some
Mm-hmm.
controversy in some of them. If you look at the Caleb Plant fight, he was clearly losing at the beginning of that fight, but no matter what, he found a way, right? Morrell has only 11 professional fights, but for the most part, completely dominated the majority of all of his opponents. But his background comes more from the amateur pedigree. He got about 130 amateur fights, only 5 losses, and during the amateurs, he fought everybody, right? He fought everybody, and so he has a lot of that pedigree. David Benavides, on the other hand, does not have much amateur pedigree. He had 15 fights. And if you've seen his interview with Andre Ward, All the Smoke, was it All the Smoke Fighting or All the Smoke Boxing? One of the others called. But on All the Smoke, he talks about why, having the weight issues when he was younger, different things like that. But he has a ton of he had already had a ton of pro experience because he did a lot of sparring. He was a sparring partner for a lot of the pros. He was Triple G sparring partner. I think that's where that fearlessness come from too, man. Where just being Triple G sparring partner for a while. He even helped him prepare for Danny Jacobs. You know what I mean? So being in there with guys of that stature at a young age really is where he got his pedigree from. So he didn't get it from the amateur, going the amateur route in the amateur program, but he got it from just being in the gym and as we say in martial arts, touching hands or sparring a lot of the guys, who we love today, who are big names today. So yeah, I'll start there. Anything you want to add to that, or I'll keep going?
But honestly, like you touched on like the main stuff because these fighters, both of them are very similar but different in their own. I forget Morrell's trainer right now, but he also worked with Benavidez in his early days,
Sure.
where they lived with each other. Where saying he's with them every day, prepping them from the
Yeah.
early fights and stuff like that. But so they got like you said, a lot of very similarities, man.
Yeah.
Where really lined up for something great tonight happening. But no, I'll let you go ahead. I'll let you go proceed. I ain't gonna go too much right now.
Yeah. No. And his trainer is the world class Ronnie Shields. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
one of the best coaches in the business. You know what I mean? So he has that as well. Morrell. So let's start doing a compare and contrast of the two
Yeah,
fighters.
yeah.
Right? David Benavidez, as everybody know, which is the reason why we love him, is that he's a big time combination puncher, punches and bunches. Um, Especially if he gets you on the ropes, he gonna hit you with a 20 piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Fast hands.
that's great. Yeah, he can box. He can box, but he prefers to kind of bang out with you and trade and exchange. Um, Morrell, on the other hand, is Morrell's dangerous, and I'm gonna say this. One, he got one punch knockout power. Two, he has better footwork. He's from the Cuban style. He's from the Cuban background. Very slick, smooth footwork. Um, so he has those couple of things going for him. I think the negative on Morrell's side is the lack of pro bouts against bigger names. I don't I don't think that handicaps him though. I don't think that
No.
handicaps him. I just think that David Benavidez has seen more styles on the pro level and had to adjust on the pro level. And so he had more looks. But Morrell having that one punch knockout power, the beautiful footwork, he's able to be boxer puncher, counter punch. In a lot of aspects, on paper, I was I was always like, yeah, I'm going with David Benavidez, but on paper, Morrell checks a lot of the marks or as far as the style, as far as what he's able to do
Mm.
in his style, man. So, how do you feel about that?
I agree with you. With him being a Cuban fighter,
Mm.
we all know, like you said, styles make fights.
Yeah.
And like you said, he is very slick. He is nice with his feet work. He is
Mm.
very athletic, and that's why I would say that one of the main difference between these two is that he's more of that agile, athletic fighter. When it comes to the Cuban style, I feel it's a little unorthodox. I don't feel like it's like fully Cuban. Like it's fully
Sure.
Cuban, but I
Yeah,
feel like his athleticism kind of throws him off, and it's probably
I agree.
because he doesn't have a lot of that experience of boxing in that style, even though he is very dominant.
Right.
Which is where I feel like it's gonna possibly cause him a little bit of the problem fighting Benavides tonight. Benavides is your traditional Mexican fighter. But like I said, he has the experience from sparring against the Triple G's, um, even the B-Balls or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like you said, and he has fast, slick hands or whatever. He does have punching power as well. You know what I mean? But I think Benavidez is going to be a lot more calculated, and Morrell is that younger, eager fighter who's going to come in there and he's going to try to get him out. And I'm not mad at him for trying to do that. But
That's smart.
somebody like David Benavidez is
Mm.
going to be slick. He's going to be smart, like you said. When he fought Caleb Plant, Caleb Plant was winning those first few rounds.
Yeah, first 4 or 5 or something like that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the first 4 rounds, I give it a
Mm-hmm.
straight Caleb. But
Yeah.
but it
Mm-hmm.
was the calculations, the adjustments, and David Benavidez really adjusts within that round, and then he could turn the whole game on you. And if David Morrell is not prepared and cautious for that, I feel like it's going to get him hurt for coming on the attack too soon with somebody like David Benavidez. He's very
Mm.
dangerous. They call him El Monstro for a reason. And I think tonight, Morrell might end up finding out why. But it's going to be a
Right.
great experience for him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going. You know, it, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I think one of the things that's going to be an issue for Morrell is going to be down the stretch. Of course, he's
Mm-hmm.
probably going to try to drop him whenever the opportunity presents itself, if it presents itself. But down the stretch, David Benavides he carries the same energy, the same you know rapid fire combinations from round 1 to 12 if need be. That's what makes him dangerous. He's always in great shape. He's always able to let his hands go at any point, at any time of the fight. And also with Morrell being a bit of a counterpuncher, counterpunching against guys like, say, for example, a Canelo, right? Canelo is not a
Mm-hmm.
punches and bunches type of fighter. He's usually a one punch, two punch, you know what I'm saying, kind of setting up. Counter punching against somebody like him is a much easier task than counter punching against somebody who's gonna throw 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at you at a time,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna face that problem as well. I think that Benavidez is gonna face the problems um, when it comes to movement. Um, as we've seen in the Caleb Plant fight, right? You look at how his footwork was, how his movement was, how he was able to land, get out the way, move around. He just couldn't keep it up. Like a lot of
Right.
guys,
Right.
he couldn't keep it up throughout. So once those body shots are starting to land on Morrell, is he going to be able to keep it up as the during the ebbs and the flows of the fight going on into the later rounds? That's going to be the biggest thing. So
Yeah. You touched.
out
That's
in my
a
prediction
very key
here,
point to touch on. Mm-hmm.
absolutely, absolutely. Out in my prediction here, I think that. So I'm going David Benavidez. I'm going David Benavidez winning by decision. I don't
Mm.
think he's going to knock him out. He might drop him, but I don't think he's going to knock him out. Personally, I got him winning by decision. I got him taking him down the stretch and just wailing on him the second half of the fight. But I would not be surprised if Morrell can pull it off. Either way it go, it's gonna be a great show for us, a great match and learning experience for both of those guys. Who do you got?
Officially, I'm coming down with my man David Benavides.
Yeah.
And I give him a unanimous decision in the fight. I
Mm,
don't think it's going to be
mm,
no split.
no.
For the simple fact, which you touched on earlier, the volume put out,
Yeah.
that Morrell, he's like you said, he's a one punch fighter, where Benavidez will throw 20 punches within a span of a minute.
Yeah.
You might
Yeah.
only get 10, you know what I'm saying, from Morrell
Right.
because he's going to load up. So that volume output, I think, is going to play a big key factor in this fight.
Yeah.
And that's where it says we see what happened. You know what I mean? Because Westgard, he got a jaw, so he's not
Yeah.
no easy contender. You know what I'm saying? So Morrell laying on that one punch, he's going to have to come with more than that.
Yes, sir. My last point: Morrell has an issue fighting going back on a quote unquote back foot. Um, we know that Benavidez is going to be pushing forward, and
Mm-hmm.
Benavidez can fight off the back foot, as we know. You
Mm-hmm.
look at Morrell's last fight, was not his best outing. Was not his best outing.
No.
I thought he looked a little slow, and sometimes, in my opinion, the Cuban style can look a little because it's so smooth, because it's so. I would even say in some aspects
In and
kind of
out.
fancy looking.
Mm-hmm.
They also can look slow, and I thought he looked slow last fight. If he's being pushed back, that's going to be a problem for Morrell. And I'm expecting him to be fighting going backwards because the sheer amount of punches going to come in his way. He's going to have to do something. He's going to have to evade. He's going to have to move, but he's going to be moving backwards, and I think that's going to be a
Yeah.
problem.
I think once we get to about the fifth round, we're going to
Yeah,
see a major turning point. I could see him putting
yeah,
pressure, trying to push forward a lot within
yeah,
the first 5 rounds. I feel like once you hit 6, he may get a little bit of the fatigue, a little tiredness because of the
yeah,
pressure that Benavidez is going to push back with. And
yeah.
I think once he starts fighting on that back foot, it's going to start going downhill from there. So like you could possibly see a 10th round knockout.
Yeah. Yeah. You never know, man. You never know.
I'm
This
just
one,
saying. Uh-huh.
yeah, we giving predictions, but it's really a toss up. It's really
Yeah,
up in
it
the air.
really is.
You know
It's a
what I'm saying?
50-50 fight. I give him that.
It's
It's a
50-50 fight.
50-50
Yeah,
fight. But I
absolutely.
at the end of the day, I think it's going to come down to the experience.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Anything else you got for this?
Nah, man, that was a good one, bro.
Yes, sir.
8
Yes, sir,
o'clock.
man.
Y'all get ready.
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. And also check out the prelims on YouTube. Also follow us, Impose My Will podcast on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. Check us out,
TikTok.
man. Oh, and my bad,
TikTok as
TikTok.
well.
Yep. Like, share, subscribe to the show, y'all. Post My Will. Peace.